Immy, what are we doing today?
You absolutely destroy me is what we're doing.
What are we destroying you with?
With bumps. With Moguls.
That was dope, dude.
I'm here with Immy today, my friend from Verbier, and we're going to do a little bit of a lesson. Now, Immy's grown up doing a lot of skiing, and she's even done a little bit of ski racing when she's younger, but now she lives in Verbier and shreds most days, and then shreds the après even harder. But yeah, so Immy loves to ski off-piste, and Verbier has some of the best off-piste skiing in the world, but she's been saying that sometimes she doesn't feel as comfortable in the really steep and bumpy bits. So, Immy, is there anything you struggle with when you're skiing at the moment?
I don't think I want to go near Moguls, to be honest. That's not a bit of me.
Why is that?
Because they're insane. It's mental. I do not have knees like a 10-year-old anymore.
All right, well, Moguls aren't that hard, and they're actually pretty important for skiing off-piste, which we know you love. So let's go find some Moguls and, yeah, see what we can do.
All right, let's see how it goes.
Cool, so Immy, we've got our Moguls here. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty intimidating, but let's see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll just take it easy for the warm-up. Just ski at like 60%. Yeah, let's see what happens.
Quite nervous.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Cool.
Yeah, there's a few thick boys in here. Look at that.
What do you reckon?
I don't know. It's just daunting.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, Moguls can be really scary. There's two things that are scary about Moguls. The first is the lack of speed control.
Yeah.
And the second is the sudden spikes of pressure. Okay? And what we're going to do today is help with both of those things. All right? But the first thing we need to do before we can work on that is get the stance a little bit narrower and our turns a little bit rounder. Our stance width's getting pretty far apart. And while it's okay on piste, in the bump, often it's quite narrow and quite tight where we need to turn. And if our skis are wide apart, sometimes one ski can go over a bump, one ski can come under a bump, and we kind of end up splitting our legs, and it's not very comfortable. So we're going to wipe down here, doing a really narrow stance short turn. And to get the feet moving quickly, we're going to do some really quick, punchy short turns, with our feet almost glued together.
When you're warming up, don't worry about trying to do your best short turns. Just focus on doing quick turns with a very narrow stance.
Nice work, Immy. That was pretty good. I think we can get them a little bit closer together though. So I'm just gonna put my fist here. I want you to squeeze my fist as hard as you can. Can you feel the muscles on the inside of your legs working when you do that?
Yeah.
I need those muscles to be turned on quite tightly when we do this, all right?
Yeah, we can
Like
turn
you can
them
do
on.
that? So why don't you follow me down here?
Same line.
Yeah, exactly the same line right behind me. I'm gonna go pretty slowly. We're just gonna focus on the narrow stance, and that way you don't have to think about where you're gonna slip. Follow
Okay.
me. Sound good?
Yeah. That was better.
A little bit in control. We took it pretty slow and pretty round there. But I guess the focus there that we want is we still don't want to skip the top of the turn. We still want to do a round turn just like we're doing on piste. And doing that with a narrow stance means that we can put ourselves in a better position to absorb the pressure, which is what we're going to work on the next lap. Okay?
Right, so do you actually have a serious question about Moguls?
Yeah.
Why? It's not fun. It hurts my knees. I'm not good at it. So why do you think I need to learn how to ski Moguls?
Two reasons. Firstly, Moguls is fun. You're wrong. Now, as you get better at it, it becomes a lot more enjoyable, just like all sports, really,
Yeah.
and all parts of skiing. But secondly, you like off-piste skiing, right? That's the Immy that I know, off-piste, Verbier, free ride gal.
Such a free rider.
Rip on. Sometimes like if we look up at Montgelé right now, it's not perfectly groomed powder.
No.
You're going to find a few bumps. You're going to find lumps when you go skiing off piste. So I think it's a good tool to have in the bag to know how to ski moguls well, because when you go touring, or especially like some of the more popular couloirs, you come around the corner and it's moguls. You're in like a 50-degree couloir and you got boot deep moguls, or even thigh deep moguls. What are you going to do? Hike back out and hike back down again? You're going to ski them because you're a boss.
Okay, that's good. I like that. Now I've got to focus.
Yeah.
I have to
Exactly.
be good at that.
Got a goal.
An achievable goal.
Yeah, and you'll crush it. You'll crush it. It's going to take you off piste skiing to the next level. And as well, like the movements that you make in the moguls, especially the ones that we're going to work on now, like the absorption and the extension retraction of the legs, is a really important tool for skiing like powder and off piste variables.
I can see that.
You can transition from one turn to the other much more efficiently and much more effectively if you've got these movements in your toolbox.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll trust you then.
Cool. So we got our stance a little bit narrower. We started to get like a little bit more of a rounder turn through the turn shape to the bumps, which gives us a little bit of speed control. But sometimes the bumps get really tight, and we don't have access to any other methods of speed control apart from what we're going to talk about now, which is absorbing the pressure that comes up with our legs. So these bumps are kind of big. There's some big ones in there. It's like boom, you feel like you're getting like bucked a little bit. So we need to use our legs to absorb that pressure, take the tang out of the bump, and then we won't get thrown out of the bumps.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
That makes sense. So what we're going to do now is a little exercise called an extension retraction turn. Okay. Do you know what that is?
Nope.
Cool. So we're going to do some normal like steered slowish turns, but in between each turn, we're going to finish the turn in a really low, compact position, almost like we're sitting down on our skis. Okay. And this is going to help us get used to and explore the range that we need when we're skiing moguls.
Okay. Yeah? You're going to have to show me what this looks like.
I'll give you a little demonstration. How'd it feel? A bit funny?
Lot to think about, a lot going on, and I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be up or down, to be honest.
Yeah, so the timing of this movement is hard, but we want to get it right in this turn because the timing is kind of similar to when we're skiing bumps. So it looked like you sort of got pretty compact at the end of the turn, but then as you were starting the new turn, you stood up.
Yeah.
And if we do that on the top of a mogul, we'll end up jumping into the air. Yeah. So we want to stay in that retracted position while we start the new turn, and then feed the leg out into the next turn rather than standing up and then going in.
Yeah.
Does that sort of make sense?
Yeah, it does. I just wasn't really thinking about it
as
a mogul. I was more thinking about it as an exercise. So now, if I put it all together, that makes more sense.
Yeah, and I'll force you to do it. I'm going to stand there, down on that roller. I'm going to hold my pole out. Okay. And we're going to do like a bit of limbo. You're going to come around on a right-footed turn around this way. You're going to ski under my pole and you're going to keep your head under it as you start the new turn. Actually, Immy, I'm going to shorten my poles to like a really short length, and we're going to swap, okay?
So Ryan, why do you shorten your poles?
So when I ski bump, you end up being like a pretty low position between the two turns. So if your poles are really long, they just get in the way. So a short pole means that as you pole plant from this position, it's in a nice position. It's not really getting in the way.
Okay. Fun.
Yeah, I'm using a 110 at the moment, which is the same as your poles, and I'm like quite a bit taller than you. Yeah. So we'll go down to like 103. And it's just going to help you get used to feel more comfortable in that really low position.
Every time, it's like...
Hard going. It's fun. We're having fun, okay?
Yeah.
Just think about all the ripping you're going to be able to do once you can crush these moguls.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and put the timing of those movements that we did in those turns into the moguls now. So if you imagine I'm going around to hit this mogul here. I'm going out, my leg's long, and then I'm retracting and finishing on top of the mogul in this position here.
So I actually want to spread like spread my legs a bit.
No, I just did a snowplow because I was going too slow.
Oh right, okay. I was like, I didn't.
yeah,
Just
okay,
demonstration.
Because I was going slowly. But yeah. So you want to finish here, and then from this position, we can go into the next one. I'll do it in a snowplow again because I'm going slow. The leg goes out long, around, and then into the retracted position here.
That low.
The lower you go, the more energy you can take out of the mogul with your muscles, and the less it gets transmitted to the rest of your body. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's also very good just to exaggerate it while you're learning.
Way better.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
What were you like? What felt different?
I don't know, I just kind of understood what I needed to do more. I could feel it there, and I felt like the speed wasn't like concerning me so much.
Yeah.
And actually towards the bottom, I could just kind of like go with it.
Yeah.
And it like felt more like rhythmic.
100%. I feel like when I get this right, I've got all the time in the world. I just like absorb the mogul. I sit there for a second and I just look where I'm going to go next.
Get a little cup of tea.
Yeah, exactly. Have a little cup of tea, chill out. Or an Aperol Spritz. You know, when I'm hanging out with you. You know when you like, if you jump off like a ledge and you land and you bend your legs to absorb the impact, and you're decelerating yourself because you were falling, and then you catch yourself. It's the same principle to the mogul. Like, as we bump, if our leg's there, we can like absorb it and decelerate ourselves with that movement. So it's super important for speed control.
I am familiar with that a bit more from like race training.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't like with your rollers. Like,
Yeah. All right, let's do a little bit of a slope side analysis. What's going on here? Well done. That's way better, hey?
Yeah.
So as we roll through here, see how you shorten your legs into this position here?
Yeah.
And you know, you're almost like you're sitting down a little bit towards the tail of your skis, which is perfectly fine. Like we want that in the bumps. And that means you absorb this pressure and boom, look, tips down, skis going out and around like that. That was way better. I think we still could use some more range. Like if we go back to that turn there, like you're a bit low, but I think we can get a little bit lower, okay? That'll help us deal with bigger bumps. And when it gets a bit faster, yeah, just like control our speed a little bit better.
Okay.
Can you see that though? It's good, eh?
Yeah, it's better.
Way better.
Can I ask then just about my like arms? Because they do look very chicken wing. So that was good to see, like the video of how it was working.
Yeah.
One thing that I now think I look not as cool or like natural with is my arm positions look really like chicken wingy.
Yeah.
Like your position's a lot different, but what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, I mean, first things first, like the legs is what we need to focus on because that's where we're getting our main absorption. But the arms and the upper body definitely has a big part to play in the moguls. If our hands are blocked in like this and we pole plant like that, it can kind of disturb our upper body and we can get thrown like rotated around or back a little bit from the moguls. So I like to have my hands a little bit higher than I normally would, and we've got our shorter poles now. And I'm just flicking like the wrist forward and trying to make the movement just come from the wrist. And then when it hits the bump, it just goes kind of back without disturbing my whole upper body. So I need to keep a bit of tension in my arms for sure. But yeah, just like little wrist flicks rather than big pole plants. And don't have your pole plant like in front of you like this, so it's like punching you back in the chest. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thanks.
The way I normally describe to people how to hold their arms is put your hands on your sternum, elbows a tiny bit in front of your chest, leave your elbows where they are and open your wrists just outside your elbows. There you go. Even like a little like outside the elbow. Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Cool, Immy. So this extension retraction movement is getting way better. And we saw before that you're able to absorb some of the pressure in the bumps and start to go faster and feel more in control. So we're going to take this up a little bit and we're going to link the extension retraction movement with some hockey stops. Okay. And if we do like quite an aggressive hockey stop, we get a bit of pressure building up. So we're going to use that to simulate the pressure from a bump. And we're going to combine the hockey stop with like a sit down or like a flexion. Cool. Let's tie this in a little bit now with some like changes in terrain. So see how there's like a sort of like a mogul forming there? Let's do a little hockey stop or like a hockey slow into that little ridge and combine the timing of that flexion with that little ridge here, okay? I'll show you. So let me go first.
Yeah.
And you go. We're just going to time it here. So we're going to go. Yeah? Good, yeah.
Damn.
Even lower, I think. Yeah, that's it. Try one the other way and get that low. Yeah, cool. It's kind of like, so you feel how it kind of stops you? It's a way of controlling your speed. Yeah, it kind of like helps you come to a stop. Because you're absorbing like the pressure.
This next bump for Immy here, I think is a really good example of how she's starting to understand the retraction and extension movement to absorb pressure. And if we roll it forward and just watch this outside leg here as she comes down, watch how it gets shorter just through these next few frames. And she comes into this low, compact sort of athletic stance over the bump. She kind of didn't have that before, and this means that now she's able to stay in control and she's not getting bucked up into the air. And you kind of notice that if you watch her head as well, it's not getting thrown up as she goes over the bump. She's staying in the same spot and then she's keeping her skis on the snow and going over.
I think we went a bit faster, and I chose a slightly different line, a little bit more awkward because they're the two like bigger, longer ones. And it can be really hard in free bumps, like a natural bump feel like this, because it's not like just, it's not set like 1, 2, 1, 2. Sometimes it's like a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You know what I mean? Like they're different shapes. So I guess the timing of these extension retraction movements, we need to develop a touch for that and a feel for that, depending on the bump that's in front of us. Yes, Immy. That was sick. That was heaps better.
Thanks.
How did it feel?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
When he's feeling it.
Yeah,
So I think just like going over and doing it again and again and just like putting all those bits we discussed together, actually I felt like that was definitely the best, like controlled line, a lot of like nice absorption.
Yeah.
Just not being so afraid.
Yeah, like using our muscles to absorb rather than our bones is a way more efficient way of doing it. And with anything in skiing, you need a lot of repetition. So, you know, we've only spent an afternoon tonight. It's done like, what, 4 runs, maybe? So, yeah, you need to go and spend a lot of time practicing this and putting that all together and just getting mileage in as well. But awesome work, dude. That was really
Thanks.
cool.
Right, we go for a beer?
Absolutely.